and gentle dudes. Welcome back to another episode of Total Drama Aftermath Reborn. Oh man, you guys showed up and showed out on our first episode premiere. It's because of you folks that we're able to still do this. I'm your host, Geoff.
And your co-host, Bridgette. And boy, do we have a treat for you guys today. But first, we've brought something back that you all dearly loved. That's right, our beloved peanut gallery. But this time, we decided to do something a bit out of the ordinary. If you haven't watched our last episode, then what the heck are you doing? Go back and see what you've missed out on. We've got our previous guests seated in one of the VIP rooms that you all might be familiar with. Say hello, guys. You're on air.
Yay, we're part of the Peanut Crew!
Hey guys, good to see you again.
You guys even have snacks in here. How cute!
You'll be hearing more from them as the episode goes on. Just before we jumpstart into today's episode, we've got one more surprise for you folks. You won't believe it. Producers, you mind showing these folks our return feature?
I gotta say, I didn't think they'd bring this back again. You've outdone yourselves now, Bridgette and Geoff. Nice one.
On today's episode, we've handpicked 3 special guests here today by popular demand. These are some of the most memorable contestants from the Total Drama series. And trust me, the drama's about to hit the fan. And don't worry, in the future, we'll be implementing some of the old games and challenges to keep things spicy. Care to announce today's sponsor, my love?
You bet! Today's sponsor is Total Drama Island. Nope, not the original one, but the reboot. That's right. After being on hiatus for almost 10 years, Chris and Chef are back to their antics and has yet again recruited 16 contestants to compete for $1 million. Boy, even saying that just gives me chills. Season 2 is now on your local streaming platforms, all for the price of $9.99 a month. You can't beat that with a candlestick. And as a bonus, if you use code REBORN, you'll get a custom-made 3D figure of our beloved Izzy. With that being said, I think it's time to introduce our first guest, don't you think, hun?
Correctamundo! This contestant was one like no other. I mean, this guy was a jack of all trades. You'd think he had superpowers or something. The mobility, the charisma, and even craftiness. Even Chris was impressed with his performance. And that says a whole lot if you're part of the competition. Ladies and gentle dudes, introducing the man of many personalities and boyfriend of revenge of the island's sweetest cherry blossom, Mike!
Hey guys, thanks for having me on the show. This place is a lot bigger than I expected it to be.
Yo, Mike, my main man. It's so good to have you on set. Last time we saw you, you had more personalities than anyone could count. So tell us, how are you doing? How's life been since the show?
Honestly, it's been a crazy but rewarding journey. After winning, my main priority was to find balance with my personalities. And it wasn't easy, especially after getting rid of Mal. But I'm doing a lot better now. I've gone through therapy, and I've learned how to manage them better. I still have them, but they don't take over my life anymore.
That's amazing news, Mike. It's really great to hear that you've come so far with your condition. We saw so many different sides of you on the island, so I'm sure it must have been a challenge to find your balance. But tell us, what's life like now? What have you been doing these past couple years?
Oh, well, just trying to make a living, you know? I've set a pretty good foundation for myself ever since I won the prize money. Everything pretty much worked in my favor, despite all the hell I went through on the show. But you could say that it was a trade-off well worthwhile. That's life for you.
Tell me about it. It's good that you've had some genuine people in your circle, too. Especially Zoe. How have you guys been, by the way? You two seem to be in good spirits, which is always a good sight to see.
Oh, we've been great! I'll tell you this. Since day one of being on the island, I knew that she understood me thoroughly before my characters were even exposed to her. I don't know. It just felt like she was my personal psychiatrist in her own type of way. Sure, you had people like Dawn, Brick, and even Scott to a degree. Had it not been for him, I wouldn't have even known that another personality was sealed inside. Ouch. Still could feel that pain every now and then.
You got that right, champ. Well, what about your good friend Cameron? Man, that was one smart little dude. I'm sure you became closer than ever before after those back-to-back seasons you two competed in.
Absolutely. I owe it all to Cam. It's because of his intelligence and care that I was able to get a hold of those guys temporarily in the first place. Prior to the competition, my parents took me to the doctor and not even they were able to diagnose the root issue of my disorder. But somehow or another, Cameron figured it out in just a span of a week. Quite impressive, really. Not only that, but he's a genuine friend that I could ask for. Love you, bud.
Yup, I'm glad we went on that trip together. My daddy always told me good friends are like stars. Even when you can't see them, you know they're always there.
Hey, are we at the part where we're gonna play That's Gonna Leave a Mark? Or is that not until later on in the episode?
Actually, we've left that particular one in the past, but we're bringing some of the old games back in the future once we have a budget increase. Gotta be able to boost those ratings, you get what I'm saying?
Oh, thank God, because I can't afford to get my head banged up again. That really, really hurt.
Don't worry yourself, Mike. What you've seen in the past won't be what you'll be experiencing now. But we've got a bunch of questions to get through from your fellow fans. You ready to see what they've asked?
Of course, this should be interesting. Go ahead and lay them on me.
Sweet! Our first question comes from Universe Boy 234. He says to Mike, what do you wish you had done differently back in Revenge of the Island? Like, what were some of the memorable moments you wanted to fix back then, if you could? A good question coming from our guy. You had a pretty decent run in your first appearance, though. So, do you think you could go back in time and change anything, bro?
Well, from what I could remember, at one point I was using my natural strengths within myself to try to win the competition and win Zoe over. I realized once I got eliminated, I couldn't do both. That, and that jerk Scott manipulating and blackmailing me. I couldn't blame him too much though, just gotta charge it to the game, I guess.
I remember that. He was pretty much the Heather of Revenge of the Island. Chris sure does know how to pick him, wouldn't you say, Geoff?
Most definitely. But you can't have a season without an antagonist. I'll tell you this, that farm dude sure surprised the heck out of me with how slick he was.
Nah, no complaints. It's all water under the bridge. Hope he's doing good though.
What a positive attitude to have. I shouldn't expect anything less from you, though. But on to the next question. This one comes from Cinders the Ace 4094. To Mike, was there ever a time where one of your alters had a phase that annoyed the others immensely?
Oh, that's an easy one. They do it all the time. They're pretty much a bunch of siblings to deal with at once. It could get pretty annoying at times, but now they're completely under control. Thanks for the question, Cinders the Ace. Oh, and by the way, nice profile picture.
You got a bigger fan base than I expected, man. Kudos to you. This next one here's from TD Ryan 2233. How are things with your personalities and which one was your favorite?
I knew this one would come sooner or later. Not to sound cliche, but I'd have to say none of them. Pretty much all of them were wacky in their own way. I mean, it makes sense that I'm the only level-headed one out of the bunch because it's my authentic self. But like I said previously, they don't abruptly take over like they used to. Anytime they come out, it's by requests only, and they know their place because they know who the real Mike is. So, yeah, hope that answers your question though, man.
Mike, my friend, there's still a bunch of questions we have to get to from your fans. But before we do that, I think it's time we put your personalities to the test to see if they're really under control.
What's that supposed to mean?
Geoff, you better not get any funny ideas. We're under a new contract now. Remember that.
Oh, relax, babe. I was only gonna tell him that he was gonna play Truth or Hammer.
Classic Geoff. I thought he would have learned by now.
Are you out of your mind? You said that we weren't bringing those old games back. Are you trying to get our show canceled?
Of course not. Come on, Bridge. You know I turned over into a new leaf. We're not in our teens anymore, so you won't have to worry your pretty little head about the past shenanigans. I just wanted to mess with him a bit, just to see if Chester would come out. He's my favorite after all.
Right. At least try to mask up your sarcasm. I've known you long enough to see how predictable you are. Chris isn't managing our show anymore and we have a family now, so don't go pulling an okey doke on me.
Fine. Serious much? I mean, Mike, you understand, right? Your different characters would make great entertainment. That way we don't fall off like these podcasts and reality shows these days.
Yeah, that's true. Don't worry, Bridgette. I know you've had your trust issues in the past, but we're older and I'm in complete possession now. But they would be of good use for future references, you know?
Okay, I guess a few wacky intermissions during the show wouldn't hurt. But we're not doing anything crazy for the next few episodes. You got that, Geoff?
You have my word, babe. But get this, we've officially reached the 10-minute mark. So do you think now is a good time to segue and introduce our next guest?
Absolutely, Mr. Host of the show. Take it away.
All right, an extra energy boost for the Geoffster. Our next guest is one I admire dearly. This dude's got some serious talent. Remember the Drama Brothers? Well, they've just released a single and performed Bruno Mars's famous song. Not to mention, they're currently top 3 in the Billboard charts. Without further ado, this contestant is a guitar artist, has suffered more injuries in the show than expected, and was once obsessed with the number 9. Trent, everybody!
Hey, what's up, guys? Feels pretty surreal sitting here again. I tell ya, the way you two are running this gig is pretty sweet. Nice going. Aw, snap. Mike's here too? Dude, you were one wild card in season 4. Hilarious.
Well, I appreciate the accolades, bro. Nice seeing you.
Trent, long time no see, bro. Good to see you in the flesh after all this time. Thanks a bunch, by the way. I mean, without you guys, there'd be no Total Drama Aftermath, truth be told. So the Drama Brothers, huh? You guys have been reaching greater heights and touring all over the world. Your life has taken a shift ever since the competition, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. I mean, since I've been out of the competition, the guys and I have spent majority of our time pushing albums and touring globally. I didn't know how much fans we've actually had until we finished our last verse in front of a gigantic crowd. It's what keeps me motivated.
Sounds pretty sick, dude. The fact that it's you 4 that's holding it down like this, it just sounded so silly in concept in my teenage brain, you could say. But you guys are actually killing it. Bravo, my man.
Thanks, man. It's one thing to have fans that celebrate you, but it's a deeper love when it comes from the ones you know. It's thanks to you guys.
That is so real, Trent. You know Geoff and I will always support you guys.
You know it, Broham. So tell us, do you think it ever gets a bit difficult having to manage your free time? I know there's hella money in the music industry.
Well, with us being a group of 4 people, it's really just time management and very minimal studio sessions. Most times, we're able to write verses at each other's houses. And, well, with the way the world is right now, we try to preserve and utilize our time wisely. Pretty wicked the way the economy is currently, if you get what I mean.
Oh,
Yeah, I feel
Got
you.
that right.
Where the heck did that come from?
The Peanut Gallery, fam. Some pretty familiar faces you should be able to recognize.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot about that. Not to mention that you have them return for future episodes. Kinda startled me a bit, but it's good to see your faces. You guys look great. But wait a sec, Geoff. Don't you have some deadly contraption under your sleeve that I don't know about? Like, what was the one called Truth or Anvil or something? Or that one where you had to sit in an electric chair and if you told a lie, then you'd get electrocuted?
Good question, Trent, my dude. You see,
Nope. Let me take this one, honey bun. You don't want to say the wrong thing, then ruin your reputation on national TV, do you?
oh, come on. We're decades into the future. Do I have to sign a fee waiver on live to ensure that nobody gets killed?
Well, nobody's saying all that.
I know it's your show, bro, and I don't want to be out of order by any means. But to be honest, you've got a pretty rocky track record when it came to your shenanigans. Sometimes people just need a little reassurance just so nobody gets hurt. I mean, hell, we've had to deal with Chris for all these years.
He's got a point there, Geoff.
Well then, to hear this coming from Trent, I'll say I'm quite impressed with how far he's come. Extra bonus points for you, my friend.
Okay, look. I have a lot more to lose now. I mean, I wouldn't want my teenage kids to even be involved in something like Total Drama. I'd kill someone if they've tried anything that I've done in the past, believe me. So that said, Trent, how about we find out what your fans have to ask? It's been a while, so I'm sure they want to know what you've been up to these past few years. So, what do you think?
Sure, I'm game to answer some questions. Now this is what I've been looking for.
You got it, bro. So here we have Lee Juing Xuan 3842. He says, Trent, what do you think of Total Drama's newer casts? This is a question everyone could answer. I want to know your opinions on these guys. I mean, personally, it's a mixed bag. But what's Total Drama without variety?
I mean, from what I saw, they seem to be a decent cast. I haven't really been keeping up with it much. Cody was the one who found out and then told me about it. I'm just surprised that Chris hasn't went bankrupt with all the lawsuits he's been facing, but he sure has one hell of a squad when it comes to those lawyers.
Oh, please. What else is new? He's more conniving and crafty than ever before. The word lawsuit just makes his lawyers get into defense mode.
Tell me about it. But in all fairness, those guys have been watching Total Drama for years, so they know the ins and outs of how things operate once they get on that island. I've had a few reach out to me asking how to not get eliminated.
Yeah, as long as they keep their head on a swivel, they should be in good standings. Though they're the next generation to compete, they seem to have a good head on their shoulders, most of them I'd say.
I tell you what, it's always entertaining when I'm seeing some of the new challenges. Quite impressed with how innovative those two jokers are. Thanks for the question, Broham. You want to take the next one, babe?
Absolutely. Our next one is from KMC710. Trent, how did you and Gwen get back together? Well, I should have seen this one coming. If you will, just give all of us a brief update with you two if you don't mind. I'm so excited for what my ears are about to hear.
I'd be happy to answer. Funny enough, since the All-Stars season, Gwen actually turned over into a new leaf. From the time she emasculated Duncan to rekindling her relationship with Courtney, I'd say a simple conversation and reassurance fixed us as if it was good as new. It was genuine too. Gwen was the type that never really cared about money. Even in the first season, as close as she was to winning, you could tell that she just wanted to experience life and making new friends. It's what drew me to her instantly. And in all fairness, we both were young and didn't make the best decisions. But everything's been on cruise control ever since, and it's up to one of us to screw it up. And boy, I don't want that to happen again.
I'm glad there's at least a happy ending for some of the first-generation cast members. Wouldn't you agree, Noah?
Well, what did you expect? Trent and Gwen were technically the first couple to exist in Total Drama. Gwen just had a bit of a roller coaster the more seasons she's competed in. Had it not been for Owen, I wouldn't have shown up in the spin-off season.
Goes to show that the longer you stay, the less real-life experience you actually have.
Agreed. So how are you feeling now, Trent? Did you want us to continue with the questions? Or are you ready for us to introduce our last guest?
To be honest, I think we spent enough time talking about me. I'm excited to see who this last guest is gonna be. Don't want to hog too much screen time, you know?
Sounds good to me. Without further delay, you guys are gonna love this. So get ready. This next guest was an absolute powerhouse in Total Drama. When I tell you that you shouldn't mess with her intelligence, I mean it. If you think you're getting over on her, you fought an already lost battle, my friend. Though she's made merge and gotten far in the show, she knows how to twist and curve her way to winning. Word on the street is that she's won 5 different awards in the law firm since she's left the show. And won her lawsuit against Chris for all of the seasons she's competed in. With an undisclosed amount, you could say that this affected Chris and Chef's budget for hosting future seasons. Anyway, this is the moment you've all been waiting for. This guest has an IQ of 250, hates green jelly, and is spicy as a ghost pepper. Introducing Courtney!
Hey, you guys! You both look just as good as ever. I was given an invitation to come to your show, and I couldn't pass up on it. Always a pleasure to be here. Trent, Mike, good to see your faces too. I sure hope you've been taking care of yourselves and have some stories to tell little old me.
Well, would you look at that? Long time no see, Miss Former Counselor in Training. I gotta admit, you showing up wasn't part of my bingo card. And here I thought you'd be handling a civil court case right about now. Regardless, you look great.
I was just about to say that. Looking as sharp as a needle. Got a lot to catch up on.
Aw, you guys. I just got here and you're already making me blush.
Wow! Seeing Courtney in real time like this gives me chills. So strong and sophisticated. And then she's in the same room as Geoff. I sure hope he doesn't try to piss her off. Then again, I'm interested to see what type of tricks he has up his sleeve.
Listen, Courtney, we've gotten dozens of inboxes and emails. We nearly got harassed to have you on the show. And I'm gonna be honest, we didn't think your schedule was gonna align with ours. But we're glad you were able to have some spare time and hang with us. Just like old times, you know?
Well, when you're in the corporate world having to deal with multiple cases at a time, the money is absolutely worthwhile. Believe it. But what's life without spending it with a couple friends and reuniting in a setting like this? A lot of people don't get that opportunity, so I try to manage.
Classic Courtney. Always on her P's and Q's no matter the time or place. So before we get to the nitty-gritty, When's the next time we're gonna have a girls' trip? I'm waiting on those dates, you know.
Oh, don't worry, girl. I've already received some first-class tickets to Guyana. Just make the group chat and I'll handle the rest. And I didn't forget about you two cuties either. Just see me after the show, yeah? Also, hey Noah, long time no see. Make sure you're not eating all those snacks up there.
You got it. We're looking forward to that.
Very funny, Court. I'll let you slide just this one time. Always good to see you in 3D, though.
Alrighty then. So Courtney, you've been on the Aftermath show plenty times. Any current updates on your life?
Actually, yeah. I've recently started learning how to be a professional baker. I'd say pies and cookies are my specialty right now. Let me tell you, there's this brown butter chocolate chip recipe that I've made just the other day. And since Owen has an expertise of food, I let him try some of my test cookies. And boy, did he go crazy. So since then, I've just been trying to put my name out there and just have an extra source of income. Bills aren't gonna pay themselves, and I like to book and travel on the go at my own leisure.
Sounds like heaven. Well, did you bring any for us to sample?
Yeah, about that, I was actually gonna bring a few, but once Duncan had some, he hoarded it for himself. Plus, I already was in a rush, so I didn't want to fight with him too much. You understand though, right?
Yup, sounds just like him if you ask me.
Not surprising to hear. I guess I could let it slide because it's Duncan we're talking about after all.
Don't worry, Courtney. We understand. Speaking of that, though, you gotta tell us how you two have been holding up. The blogs talk about you guys quite often, and we know you try to keep certain things offline. But since you're here now, you mind giving us the spill and clear some things up if need be?
A question I seen coming a mile away. But honestly, Bridgette, a lot of people expected us to have that spiciness when we were on the island. And trust me, we still do. I'll never forget that memory. But since my last season I participated in, we both had to really make sure that we didn't force things and have a true, genuine connection. Because believe it or not, a lot of those relationships on the show were either forced or just didn't feel right. Like the time Gwen liked Cameron, and the time that I even liked Scott at one point. Being an actual contestant just felt like you were in a simulation trying to escape reality, so it affected a lot of people. But if you know me well, which I'm sure you do, I wasn't settling for less, so of course I made that Joker earn my love again. But I went easy on him after a while. I just couldn't help but succumb to his dominance and edge.
Dominance and edge, huh? Well then, that sure explains a lot about you two.
And what's that supposed to mean? Don't try and wiggle your way out of it either.
All I'm really saying is that you two complement each other. Like yin and yang, salt and pepper. Duncan even said out of his own mouth in Season 2 that he likes a sophisticated and boss chick. And you're the embodiment of that, are you not? I'm surprised you forgot about that, dude.
Of course we're like yin and yang. The whole world knows it. I just had to ensure that it's coming out of your mouth correctly, mister. I know your whole shtick, so I've got my eyes on you.
Boy, these guys sure don't trust me. I mean, what more could a guy possibly do?
Something you want to say, Geoff?
No. I was just about to get to the rest of the questions. Since you three are all here now, we're gonna get to the rest of the questions from each of your fans. Because after going through them, it piqued my interest to see what your responses would be. So which one of you wants to go first?
I guess I could answer a few more. But you're a bit jittery. Is everything all right?
Trust me, man, I'm good. I just had a bit too much coffee earlier. But this next question for you is from Cinnamon9859. He says, do you ever wonder how the cameras from Total Drama are able to somehow see what's going on in your mind?
That's something I've been wanting to know too. How the heck have they been able to record what's in your brain and what was going on in it?
Truth be told, I really don't know how they do it. But if there's a camera following me around all the time, I guess they must have some kind of high-tech stuff we don't know exists. But honestly, I try not to think too much about it. It's weird enough that they're always watching us, let alone in our heads.
You got that right. All the times that they've had to censor certain stuff, I don't even know how any of it made it onto TV.
To also answer that question, our voices get redubbed to substitute bad words. Technology is getting so advanced to the point where I'm almost scared. I really would hate to see what the world is going to be like in the next 200 years.
Yo, Geoff, we're running out of time. You might want to wrap this up.
What did he just say?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I know the fun's just getting started, but it looks like we're out of time. So with that...
Geoff, we haven't even gotten to Courtney's questions.
I know, babe, but what are we supposed to do? We can't go above 25 minutes or the big guy's gonna dig into our pockets.
That's quite all right. Bridgette, could you do me a favor and just keep my seat warm for a bit while I have a chat with your man?
Sure.
Fellas, don't freak out either. This'll only take a minute.
Well, I guess we could just sit back and watch the show. Because I know that look. I think you might have screwed up this time, man.
She's definitely up to something.
Welp, I called it. My physical instincts never fail me, but boy, my mental instincts is a whole other ballgame. Damn, I should have put money on it. Those two jokers would have had to call the bank the next day.
I've traveled over 8 hours just for you to end the show early? You better have some compensation for this stunt, Jeffrey, or I'm gonna embarrass you right in front of Bridgette and your audience.
Sorry, Court, but you've been on the Aftermath set plenty of times now. You should already know how this goes. Plus, we wouldn't want Duncan's woman acting a fool and being belligerent on live TV. I mean, the guy already has to deal with that at home.
Uh-oh. This can't be good.
That was so mean.
Well, this isn't how I wanted episode 2 to go.
Hey, don't beat yourself up, Bridgette. This is all entertainment for us in the crowd. They're actually enjoying Courtney's rampage, believe it or not.
Yeah, you and Geoff are doing a great job, even with the shenanigans. It's a perfect balance when you think about it.
You know what? You're right. As long as they're enjoying themselves, I'm enjoying myself too. You guys are the best. Want to close out with me?
Absolutely. Tune in with us next time, because it's gonna get even wilder than this. Trust me.
You bet! On Total Drama Aftermath, Reborn!
This is Bridgette, signing off. See you next time.